wanting to give back to my community and care for others. So I thought like being a doctor, going into medicine was the perfect way to do that.
23-year-old Mackenzie Paul always had dreams of becoming a doctor. She's a student at Michigan State University's College of Medicine at the campus in Grand Rapids.
The hardest thing I've ever done, but also loving what you're learning and knowing at the end of the day, like you're working towards something that's really going to help people. Like I loved that.
But those dreams put on pause the first day of her second year in medical school. She passed out during rounds at Corewell Health Butterworth in July.
I just got really dizzy and then I had to sit down, and then I woke up to nurses around me because I passed out in a patient's room. And it was really embarrassing, but also really scary.
Mackenzie thought it was due to a lack of sleep and food, but the dizziness continued days later. She called her doctor and got some lab work done and says the results were horrifying.
There's probably like a handful of things on my labs that were like normal. Everything else was just so messed up. Like stood up and I started like pacing around my room and crying, and I was just kind of like pleading to God, like, please don't let this be cancer.
A bone marrow biopsy confirmed it was indeed cancer, specifically acute myeloid leukemia.
And I just started crying. It was awful. It was scary.
Thankfully, they caught it early. The medical student finding herself on the other side of her studies, going from hospital rounds to around-the-clock care. She did chemotherapy for several days and spent a total of 5 weeks in the hospital.
It's been an adjustment from going 100 miles per hour and going to, just taking care of myself. Like that's my only responsibility right now.
Mackenzie staying encouraged through it all, sharing her journey on TikTok.
Mackenzie Paul, we married 3 months, wedding anniversary, this is my husband.
This video of her husband helping her get ahead of the inevitable going viral, even getting the attention of People magazine.
I was gonna fall out and I didn't have control over that, but being able to take control of when it was gonna happen and how it made me feel and like who I got to do it with, like that was something I was able to do with my husband, and it was really special.
Her diagnosis didn't change her desire to become a doctor, but instead strengthened it.
Being on the side of being in the hospital and being a patient, and the care I've received has been amazing, and I just think it's gonna make me such a compassionate and empathetic doctor someday.
She's used to learning lessons in the classroom, but her diagnosis taught her this.
When things are out of your control, like you can still push forward and still lean on faith and family and community.